So I was in line at the grocery store behind a man with the most fragile sense of masculinity I have ever seen in my life. He was buying bottled water for his girlfriend, and he was buying like fancy Italian water. Apparently, this is what he was shouting out to everybody, as he was like, man, I don't like shopping for women because I never know what to get them. So I got this fancy Italian water, but this isn't for me. All right. I'm buying this for my fucking girlfriend. He was swearing too. He was swearing, which made it just all the more fragile. He was like, y'all hear this? I'm not buying this fucking water for me. This is not me. This is for my girlfriend. And absolutely everyone was ignoring him. Absolutely nobody wanted to respond to this guy's energy, which just encouraged him to keep repeating himself over and over again. Like
he wasn't being acknowledged.
I don't have anything more to quote him on. Like this was he was on loop with this for like 3 or 4 minutes because there was somebody else in front of him in the line. They checked him out and they were like, have a nice day. And he was like, fuck yeah. And he left. So, moral of the story is that guy doesn't shop for women. And he says it's because they're picky. I think it's because he thinks everyone's going to think he's gay, because that's also what he said, was that this was not his gay water.
I love that things have gotten so intense now that now water is gendered.
It wasn't even gendered. It was countryed. It was Italian water, and Italy is apparently too feminine for this man. Oh my god, dude.
I don't know, maybe I should model after this guy. Like I should like really like take his advice and figure out how to live in his lane, really. Like next time I'm like, this extremely fruity drink I'm ordering, it's not for me, it's for my boyfriend. Okay? And then everyone will think I'm super manly.
What you do is you shout that out, and it's like, my boyfriend, who maybe he's in line with me today. I don't know. Maybe we're going to meet up. This could be you. This could be your fruity drink.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was so good.
There are just people that go through daily life and you just wonder if they have like a humiliation kink. And like, that's what's happening.
I mean,
it's
this
like,
guy.
Like, what the fuck is happening? Why are they like this?
This guy. I mean, I'm not going to do the whole trope of like, oh, he's secretly gay and in the closet, because that's not, that's not true. That's kind of offensive in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. The point is, this guy, comically fragile to the point where I do suspect he's burying some emotional trauma of some kind, because this is so over the top. Oh.
The emotional trauma is having masculinity beaten into you for the first 20 years of your life, and
no, that's exactly
that's exactly what it is, because it's like it's so much baggage over a series of weird made up rules and stuff. Like I just remember when my dad would talk about how like only women and gays drink from straws and stuff like that, and I'm like, what are these rules?
People
and like everyone has different weirder rules that they grew up with. That when you cross compare, it gets really confusing.
Yeah.
So we don't kiss on the cheek like them Europeans. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this extremely strange cold open to Undefeated.
Yeah. I was told things like, oh, you can't cross your left leg over your right because that's what women do.
Oh, thank God, I'm safe. I'm currently crossed the opposite direction.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank
God.
Your gender is protected on this day.
It's right here. It's protected between my legs. Yeah.
And with that wonderful cold open, what furry novel are we playing today? Oh, you're already
Undefeated is intended for audiences age 18 and older. There you go. Me. And I pressed A and nothing happened. Am I in the window? I might not be in the window. It's freaking out. And
Did you
OBS
show them your ID?
and OBS flashed 2 different images of Meryl with another dude to reinforce the point from a minute ago. There we go. This visual novel contains scenes that will include intense graphic violence, flashing lights, substance abuse, and strong language. Reader discretion is advised.
It's the flashing lights that require you to be 18 plus.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's like when they play a certain
Undefeated!
it's like when they play a certain frequency around malls so that teenagers don't loiter.
That's so fucking dystopian too.
It's so weird.
Like malls, the thing that we've associated with teenagers for like 60 years.
Like, why don't teenagers go out
nope.
anymore? We just systematically removed every single place they'd ever go.
Yeah, and then made it like deal hearing damage to them if they hang out in places.
I got hit by that when I was trying to like battle like my undiagnosed potential ADHD and stuff, trying to figure out how to write scripts and be like, how the fuck do I just get away from my bedroom and my computer and just find a space to write? You know, like a
it's impossible.
Like a third space. And I was like,
exist.
Yeah, I literally got as far as getting in my car with my iPad and then starting to drive, and then realized mid-drive I didn't have a destination, because like the obvious concept of you could just go somewhere else to like work on something, like, well, where?
The only place I can think of is the library.
Yeah, like it's like there's almost nowhere you can just stop in life, especially not during the summer where I'll die in my car. I can't just drive to a random parking lot and hang out in my car and write, because I will die.
Yeah, like a month or 2 ago, some kids had bought like big inflatable boxing glove things, and they just happened to be outside of my house like boxing each other. And I was thinking to myself, like, most people tell these kids to leave, but like, where are they gonna go to do this?
The next driveway?
So I figured just like, fuck it, man. Well, I mean, my neighbors would tell them to go and then blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck it, man. They can do this here, because where else are they going to do this? If they go to the park, people at the park will tell them to leave. So my interaction with these kids was to go out and say, hey, I have to move my car in 5 minutes. Don't get hurt. And then and then they were cool with it. I went and got some beer. I came back, and then they kept boxing in front of my house. And I was like, we're all good, man. We're all good.
Well, speaking of boxing, here's a bunch of dudes that created their own third space where they beat the shit out of each other. I assume that's the plot of Undefeated. This has been recommended periodically, and I've held off, because whenever I talk about Let's Tries, people recommend this game, and I'm like, no, it's finished. So it'd be a series one day. There's no reason to preemptively, awkwardly do a one-off and then come back later. And now we're here. We're here. Fresh off.
Now we're here. This is my second visual novel experience, and the first one was really fun. I'm looking forward to this one. And I explicitly told Keith that the only rule I have at the moment is we stick with ones that are finished, which I assume rules out like 70% of these things, but you know, it leaves plenty. So anyway, let's go.
You want to be the attendant that's probably talking to me?
Okay. Yeah, they're probably not the narrator. All right, kid, you're up.
The chill of the metal floor nearly shocks me out of my focus. This place has been underground for some time now, so it only makes sense that the floor is this cold. This place has been underground for some time now? What does that mean?
Yeah, and then a cold floor doesn't shock you. That's a mixed metaphor. We're one sentence in and we're being critical bastards.
Did it sink into the ground on Emergence Day in Gears of War? I step onto the elevator, accompanied by an attendant. The stoat is dressed in formal black clothes, like a dealer at a casino. From an outside perspective, it's probably a pretty strange contrast next to me. The door is closed behind us. The world I've come to know so far vanished behind me, just like that. This is the path I've chosen. The elevator's waking growl shakes me back to my senses. A purr. The elevator's mewling purr. And with those senses, my anxiety.
So.
My eyes dart to the stoat. He's turned his head down to face a tablet.
Standard procedure stuff, really. You read the contract, rules should be familiar to you. No eye gouging, no killing, no foreign objects.
His speech trails into more of a drone. I can't seem to focus on him. There should be a fire in my stomach right now. That burning desire that everyone that belongs here has. It was with me earlier. But right now, all I can do is keep myself from throwing up. Maybe that's what that burning feeling actually is.
Yeah, kind of.
The stoat keeps speaking. I should probably listen.
Your contract requires you to win at least one fight before you're allowed dismissal. Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay.
This could be in for a very long meeting, then. Also, I'm amused by, like, I should probably listen, he says, about the rules. It's so relatable. He's me for real.
Maybe he's done this before. I don't know. If you faint, submit, are forced out of the ring for 10 seconds, or are unable to fight for any reason, you lose.
My ears twitch at the last bit. He looks up at me.
Any questions?
I realize now I've been staring straight at him this whole time. I nod as if I've been paying attention the whole time. He's just like me. My mouth feels dry, welded shut. I don't know what I'll say, but he's expecting an answer, so I breathe out and nod. My breathing is a lot shakier than I expected it to be. In fact, my whole body is tensing up, like cables holding up a suspended bridge. I can't force myself to relax. I think the stoat notices too. His paw rests itself tenderly on my shoulder.
His paw rests itself? Come on. I don't want to be too critical about writing, but sometimes. What were we gonna say?
I said it took over on its own.
Yeah.
Sorry, kid, it's got a mind of its own. Don't worry about that.
Sorry. This is my horny paw. I don't tell it what to do. It tells me. Old lefty. Anyway. Hey, kid. Take a breath.
His expression lightens up.
You're gonna do fine. Everyone's first time is like this.
Says my horny paw. I want my mouth to speak.
First time is like this. Oh, that's what horny paw says. No. He's making like the little mouth thing with his thumb.
He's got little googly eyes just glued to it. It's deeply cursed.
Okay.
I open my mouth to speak, but all I can muster is another shaky breath.
You're Alex, right?
We're Alex twice in a row. now I need to pick. Now the next novel I have to pick specifically has to have Alex as a protagonist just to fuck with you.
That's the theme of the series.
I swallow. Never mind. It's right. Zander, actually. He pauses and looks down at his tablet.
Says Alex here. Listen, Alex. It's just your first fight in the big leagues. Don't get so nervous. People don't start judging till the third or fourth fight. Just do what you know you have to do. And when that bell rings, don't stop until you hear it ring again.
I nod, still too queasy to actually respond. He's right. I've been training for years. I should be ready. No. I drop the tension in my shoulders. I roll my neck, feeling the muscles stretch out. I won't stop for anything. The elevator's whirring had become ambience at this point. Only noticeable was it by its new absence as the elevator rolled to a stop. The stoat tapped on his tablet, scrolling his paw up a few times.
All right. So your opponent today is...
The stoat's brow furrows uncontrollably, his muzzle contorting to a slight frown.
That doesn't seem right.
It says here, killdozer. The queasy feeling leaks back in from the pit of my stomach, like a ship slowly slipping underwater. It never left.
Yeah. It says that your opponent today is Bruce. which, you know, can't really be possible.
Bruce died 20 years ago. He laughs. It feels genuine.
Well, that figures. Even our system can get mixed up sometimes. I'm sure it's just an error on my end.
I mean, he didn't question the other name being wrong, dick.
True. I do wish I could at least tell you who it'll be, though. That usually puts some people at ease.
I think that sort of went out the window when you said I'll be going up against Bruce. He laughs again, and my anxiety melts a bit when he does. I've been in this elevator for what feels like hours. It's nice to hear someone act so casually. And then the doors slide open. Then a second set of doors immediately behind them. And behind that is inky blackness. Which is terrible lighting.
Oh, that's the guy you're fighting. Inky blackness.
I have no time to be nervous. I have no energy left to waste on it. The more I focus on the anxiety at hand, the worse off I'm going to be. His paw claps against my shoulder.
Well, whoever it is, knock him dead, kid.
Use the your face to his fist technique. I nodded. Thank you. My feet are grateful to leave the cold surface, though a part of me didn't want to leave. But now the doors have shut, and all I have is me. No one can change what happens to me from this point on. Stop, no. I'm responsible for what happens. Well, for half of what happens. It's a fight. I've got bad news.
Wait, they're gonna punch back? This ain't right.
Though I wouldn't mind if someone turned on the lights here. Just like the elevator, the air here could only be described as stale? Makes sense given how far underground we are. It's a little chilly though. Not the ideal temperature for fighting conditions, but I imagine that it will change once... Ow. I mean, fuck. Like the tap out logo.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
It
Tap
takes
Out
me
even really a brand anymore?
I don't know. It's more of an identity.
Seems incredibly unpopular. Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know if I've last seen it outside of like drawings of bro furries.
Yeah, it's not got a whole lot of zeitgeist anymore, does it? Anyway.
Was there ever a tap out zeitgeist? Wait, is that a word you can apply to tap out?
No, you really can't. Should have tapped, bro. Should have tapped.
It takes me a moment to adjust the lighting. I'm familiar with the layout, but it kind of surprised me how much bigger it is than on TV. A wide circular room with a ceiling that stretches at least 20 feet above the floor. If I squint hard enough, I can make out a few cameras pointing down at the space. Huge stage lights pour down into the space. Shit's brighter than the sun, it feels like. I think it's way more than 20 feet up, seeing what that screen and so on. Oh, right. The sun. Two massive glass panels reflect the arena back at me. I can assume they're one-way mirrors. They can see me. I can't see them. I creep closer to the center of the arena. The barren concrete of the floor could fit a small crowd. Closer to the center, a wide circle, maybe 30 or 40 feet in diameter, had been painted along the floor. I've seen this all before, but this was my first chance actually seeing it up close and in person. Most people don't get the chance to do this. Lucky me.
Please wait at your designated mark behind the ring.
I nearly jump out of my hide. The small voice spoke plainly over the intercom. I forgot that people were watching from behind those cameras. Thousands of people. You're just thinking about people watching you. Shake it off. Shake it off. I loosened my joints on my way to the designated mark behind the ring. The only thing that stands before me is the paint on the ground, and the elevator door on the opposite end of the room, and the wall that the elevator door is on, and the screen that's on that wall, and also the floor that's under the paint, and the air that's in the air.
Whoa.
Whoa. I've been staring it down for so long, half expecting it not to open. And then it opens. Bruce? More like you're about to get bruised. He has gold. Are those horn caps?
I guess so.
I wonder. We also had horns in the title screen. Looked like they were snapped off, which is interesting. Like that's a reoccurring.
I didn't notice that.
Furry universe concession is deer having to deal with the fact that they have antlers, and what do you do with that? I played a game. I played a game a few months ago where in the prologue of it, you play as an immortal deer that's been sleeping for hundreds or thousands of years again. Like that's just a regular thing that happens because they're so old.
Yeah.
And their horns will just keep growing the whole time they're out. They just have like a whole like nest of horns around them that they have to like then saw off when they wake up finally. Right. And it's just like a nightmare. Like, oh my goodness, what a concession to have to think about with this character. I imagine you can't be a boxer with giant horns on your head, so you probably do have to
that's such
take them off.
Discrimination. Ugh.
Just pop out a nail file and just start going to town on that thing. Snaps off upsettingly. The elevator door is closed and I can see him much clearer. It really is him. Words fail me. My heart picks up in pace and my breathing follows suit. I feel small. Well, smaller in comparison. I had known his body was weathered when I saw it on TV, but seeing it up close like this was nothing like I could have imagined. Scars littered his body. One crossed his snout, with a few marking past attempts on his chest and midsection. And he has a Lucario diamond in his chest. I think I remember his stats back when I would watch his fights. 7 feet tall, 350 pounds. The size seems so trivial before.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, his IV. It's his IVs. But now that he stands across the ring from me, I realize how it feels up close. Like the chill of death skittering down my spine.
I was about to comment on the fact that he got no nipples, but then again, he's not a mammal, so yeah, that's okay.
We're named after those.
Ah.
Of all the things, we're named after the boobies as an entire kingdom.
That's okay.
I think we are, because they're called mammaries. Isn't that what mammals are? I think
yes.
I think I didn't make that up.
Yeah, it's because of mammaries and we lay eggs. Keep going.
Bird?
What? Yes,
Bird?
birds lay eggs.
Uh-huh.
Dumbass.
He's adopted.
By an idiot. You trained me well.
He opens his eyes, that piercing yellow gaze boring holes into mine. My eyes! And I realize that I've been staring right into him this whole time.
They call me Bruce the Optometrist.
Because you're gonna need one. His brow furrows, much like the attendant's earlier. Except he doesn't have hair, so it's weirder now. His stoic, solid stance stutters.
Ooh, that alliteration. Gangbusters right there.
His jaw crunches cacophonously crude up near the edges.
On the corners.
Damn it. His corners crunch. Fuck it. And he starts to laugh loudly. I jump with how sudden his outburst was.
Are they serious? Is this a prank?
Bro. The dinosaur points to the camera. Oh, he's specifically a dinosaur?
Frank? Yeah, he's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
His arms are a little long for a dinosaur, but, you know. Is this you, Frank? Booking me a fight like this?
Bruce laughs a few more weak chuckles. I almost want to laugh too. The beast folds his arms over his chest, smiling down at me.
So, kid, what's your name?
My body is trembling again. There's no way this is happening. I'm not about to leave my opponent unanswered. Zander. It's like the only word he's spoken so far each time. He's having a rough day. I spat the name like the frog in my throat was leaping out. Bruce thumbs at the stubble on his chin. His mouth was still curled up in a selfish smile.
Zander, nice to meet you.
The dinosaur does not extend a handshake.
So, how'd they get you in here? Is this some kind of charity thing? They usually only bring me down here for the title fights.
No, I'm... He flashes a toothy grin.
You want me to sign something? I didn't bring a pen.
This is my... Bruce moves into the circle, towards me. I consider backing away, but the man clearly has no personal space issues. He reaches out, clutching my arm. His grip is tighter than I imagined, which was already pretty fucking tight. The leathery palm presses hard, into my fur, and I swear it nearly scratches my skin. I'm not here as a fan. I yell, mostly out of fear, thinking it would stop him.
My hand to shake?
I'm a fighter.
Jesus. Ow!
Surprise.
Scared.
As I cry out, Bruce pulls my arm, and subsequently the rest of me past the markings of the painted ring. Once I cross over, a tone rings out over the arena. I realize I probably should have matched the sound volume with the music volume when I turned it down so I could hear you over it.
Don't worry, all I did was scream.
Yeah. To fight back against the sound. Just like Zander. I know that tone. That's the start of the fight. By the look frozen on Bruce's face, he knows it too. He should, at least by now. Maybe if I act now, I can catch him off guard. The attendant did say to start as soon as the bell rings. I'll stun Bruce with a strike to the liver. Once he's disoriented, I'll force him out of the ring. Not like there's any way I'll render him unconscious. It's unfortunate that Bruce grabbed my right arm. I'm no southpaw, so giving a power strike with my left is a bit awkward. With the bell's tone still fresh in my ears, I plant my right foot. It's even more awkward with Bruce still holding onto my bicep, but I should be fine. It feels unfair that they would sound the bell while they're already making contact and one of them has already grabbed the other. Yeah. Like, maybe the match shouldn't start right now. My hips twist themselves violently to the right, and with them my shoulders, followed by my newly formed fist. Bruce's right arm had been the one to grab my bicep, so his side was totally unprotected. My lips flare up slightly as my blow connects. Half from the ferocity with which I struck. The other half is from the sting his skin has inflicted onto my bare fist. I swear I must have scraped my knuckles. Bruce's body is more akin to the heavy bags I spent countless hours practicing on. That thick,
that's good.
Leathery skin. Yeah, it's just like I practiced. That thick, leathery skin wasn't just a myth people claimed dinosaurs had. That hide was dangerous. What's more, Bruce hadn't even flinched from the blow. In fact, I feel his grip on my arm as firm as ever. I'm almost scared to look up.
I think holding onto your opponent's arm is probably an illegal maneuver in a boxing match.
It might be. It's probably MMA.
Oh, fair.
But
sponsored by Fight or whatever this was called again.
It definitely feels like against regulation to start the match in that position already.
It's very true.
Bruce took care of that for me, though. Without much of a chance to retaliate, my right arm is wrenched uncomfortably into the air. Something snaps. I grit my teeth, letting out a weak growl as Bruce throws me behind him, my body crashing down to the center of the space. I think he might be a little
The
fucked.
fight's over, right? He just broke. Yeah, it's like
He just picked him up.
Ding, ding, ding.
I scramble to orient myself
1 second.
upright, my feet shuffling along the concrete. It's all I can do to keep the focus off of my shoulder. It's a pain I felt before, but not one that I really wanted to ever feel again. If it's not broken, it's definitely dislocated. Okay, then the match is over.
Yeah,
Quit.
the match is over.
You're out. Jesus. Not that it really matters. Bruce's shadow loomed over me, silhouetted from the lights above. I can't read his face.
I don't really know what kind of shit luck got you in a fight with me.
I'm on my feet now, though I could hardly call my stance steady. Bruce doesn't move.
But I got a job to do, and judging by your little stunt there, seems you do too.
This is bad, obviously. Think, you fucking idiot. That liver shot should have taken him out, but it didn't. And now you can't move your arm.
Everybody got a plan until your shoulder gets dislocated, I guess.
That's just MMA 101. Your shoulder gets dislocated, and then the match starts. The only attempt I make to move my shoulder erupts in even more pain. It feels like it's about to burst. Yeah, buddy. No, the match, it's over. Yeah. It's time to. I need to think. Yeah, the thinking is the part where you walk out of the circle. You've been immediately taken out. It's over. A desperate cry tries to burst from my throat, but his grip traps it inside. I feel his leathery palm tighten around my throat. I gasp out, trying to speak, but all I can muster is a desperate choke. His claw digs into the side of my neck. My feet leave the cement, Bruce lifting me off the ground by my throat. Bruce carries me like a sack of dead weight to the edge of the ring. I know I'm dangling just outside the edge of it. He's fucked. Yeah, so he's got broken off antlers. And he's crying. And he's half of his weight.
And like a third of his height. Little Mac, but real.
I don't think you're gonna anime season out of this one, buddy.
No.
I don't know if you can overcome this one. It's gonna look like a bad time.
The thing is, he didn't skip leg day, but
no, he's got thighs that could kill me.
Might have needed to a little bit. It's funny, he looks more like a T-Rex than the dinosaur does.
He is comically fucked.
Yeah.
Did you say he looks like a T-Rex because he has huge legs?
Exactly.
The thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got the thighs of the T-Rex. Sexual Tyrannosaur.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with thighs. We all love ourselves a good Chun-Li, but he didn't kick once. See, the thing is, he went for a liver punch when he really should have gone for a liver kick. Really should have played to his strengths.
He also skipped height day.
I don't think this guy's a very good boxer.
The fact that they're...
I mean, this is just...
It's the fact that they're...
They have to get there.
The fact that they're eye to eye and his feet are that far off the ground while bent is like...
Yeah.
His gaze
pierces... Like a 2-foot difference between these two.
I didn't realize that this was an underground murder ring.
Yeah, well,
his gaze pierces through mine, my body dangling uselessly at the end of his limb. Bruce flashes a wicked grin. He looks ecstatic, insatiable, despite having done this countless times. A chill crawls up my body as he feels as his free hand traces my midsection.
You're pretty well built.
He snorts.
For a shrimp.
Got him. I don't even know if I should try to respond. The larger man lets out a grunt, and a sting breaks through my midsection. My face crumples up. Bruce's fist is forcing its way against my abs, and judging by the pain, it's found its target. My left arm reaches up to my wrist in an attempt to fight back. I fucked up. My left arm reaches up to his wrist in an attempt to fight back. The same explosive pain streaks up my torso again. Bruce had reeled his fist back before I could even see it move. I feel my lungs flattened in my body as the strength leaves my body. Tears trickle down from my shuttered eyes. I can't breathe. I can't move. I look up and just stare into his eyes.
Now's not the time.
Sparks
Looks
fly.
like oh, birds suddenly appear. Looks like I got the fight squeezed out of you.
I wonder if he can feel my fear. If he can understand my thoughts. If he can, he probably doesn't care. If this does end up being... Huh? I'm just dumb.
Yeah, he's just dumb. If this does end up being charity, I'm probably in a shit ton of trouble.
I don't think I would laugh if I could. Try to communicate my concession to the dinosaur through my eyes. My right arm dangles uselessly to my side. I can't feel it, but I know it's there. My left arm is draped across his wrist. Bruce just stares into my eyes. I'm going to die.
See you soon, kid.
He spoke shortly, like a promise rather than a threat. Tears were still crawling down my face. The distance between our faces extends, with Bruce pushing my head away from his as he reels his back. My face is pulled forward, aiming straight for the dinosaur's forehead. That's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think he might be the bad guy. My vision goes white.
They team up later. It's to fight bigger Bruce.
Bigger Bruce.
Anyway.
I don't even feel the headbutt. I don't really feel anything right now. I don't remember hitting the ground, but I guess I'm here now. People are standing over me, talking loudly. Christ. I should probably open my eyes.
Yeah, Christ is here too. Welcome to heaven, kid.
Yeah, sorry about that. You made a series of decisions, and you know.
And now you're dead.
Now it's time to find out. You fuck around, you find out if there's an afterlife. That's the full version of that saying, actually. It's pretty dark still, but I can see a beacon of light. A dark shadow stands before it. The shadow shifts, stepping into the space, and a second later the darkness swallows the light from either side. One of the men standing to either side of me grips my left shoulder gently.
Can you stand?
Stay a while, listen. I grunt and pull myself up to his... I
figured they're going to be the mentor character, right?
Maybe, or just a random medic we never see again.
Yeah, maybe.
I grunt and pull myself up to a standing position, albeit incredibly unstable.
We need to ask you a few questions. Try and stay awake for us, bud.
To be frank, sleep sounds fucking amazing right now. Everyone is so loud.
What's your name?
Zander.
Where are you?
I sigh. A FANG League fight. We're in the ring if you want specifics.
Do you remember what happened?
My head hurts. The lights are way too goddamn bright. I got knocked out, and I think my shoulder's fucked. They give a chuckle and mumble something under their breath.
Something.
God damn it. Say goodnight, Dot. The person keeps asking me questions, and I keep answering them. They take me to an elevator, then straight to the med bay to put me in a gown. A healing gown.
Ah.
I just go through the motions, waiting for when they'll let me take a nap. A few nurses wheel me around from room to room, running a few tests. I'm glad I just have to sit still for most of it. It's all kind of a blur. I just answer whatever questions they throw my way. After a few hours, they declare my concussion is only mild, and give me the go-ahead to get some sleep, thank God. The hospital bed here is really firm. Reminds me of being back home. Not a bad thing per se. I actually really enjoy firm mattresses. Though I doubt something as simple as mattress firmness is going to keep me from sleep tonight. I can barely keep my eyelids open. For a few
Yeah,
seconds.
you're right. The mentor character is definitely just a doctor that we're never going to see again.
Yeah, no, it was just somebody had to pick him off the ground.
Don't worry, I'll try this voice again someday.
For a few seconds, I see that scene from before, like it's being burned into my vision, the dark figure standing in the light. I swear it was waiting for me.
Satan.
I don't know how long I've been sleeping, but it feels like...
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. It feels like I've been sleeping for hours. But
I slept an entire night, I think.
Well, but it feels nice to have my eyes closed, so I've just been laying here for a while. Lay a while and listen. The electronic drones of my room... the electronic drone of my room was getting on my nerves, though. A slow sigh crawls out of my muzzle, and my eyes finally pull themselves awake. I must have been crying. My eyes haven't been that heavy in a long while. The sterile white ceiling stares down at me. I would be upset. That's like a Friday the 13th movie and the ceiling stares at you.
Yeah.
I crane my vision to my left, and some memories of the night before flood back into my head. Seems I've been hooked up to an IV and EKG machine.
An IV? The fuck happened to you?
Well, he did get dinosaured.
Yeah.
He walked the dinosaur. And now all of his blood's on the outside.
I see.
And my right arm is in a sling. Fucking great. My attempt to sit up was immediately met with resistance through a heavy, dull pain shooting down through the center of my skull. Fuck. I pushed through, the pain fading away with a few pulses like a heartbeat through my brain. That's usually also what happens. Yeah. I can hear a conversation outside my door. It sounds like people are talking loud, but it's a ways away. I lean back into my pillow, my face scrunched up in discomfort. No use fighting my injuries. I can't seem to get free. I might as well try to get some more sleep.
And scene.
Is what I wanted to do. Plot twist. Here comes Kramer.
That's Dr. Kramer in this story.
No! Zander, you gotta listen to me, Zander.
God damn it. Anyway.
The dull sounds from outside my door had grown much, much louder. I think I recognized the voice.
I'm afraid that's the only conclusion here.
No, he's got a concussion.
Oh.
Don't explain it to me.
Oh, you can do it. You haven't done any voices other than Zander, so.
Don't explain it to me. Explain it to him. You're dying already.
You have punch cancer.
A truly impressive percentage of visual novels open with the protagonist being injured and waking up in a bed. Like, it's incredible how often they start this way. To its credit, there's often barely even a scene before the bed. It's often just like, there was an explosion. And that's
so like the hallmark of a lot of writing is starting with the protagonist like waking up. And people have known for years, like, oh, that's very like bad to do that. So people tend to go from either one direction or the other with this. The more common direction is it's like, oh, you start them and they're already at the kitchen table eating breakfast or brushing their teeth. Technically, that's not in the bed, so I guess that's a step forward. Or they do this direction, which is the character doing something, getting knocked out, and then waking up in bed anyway. It's really hard to start a story without a bed involved.
That is the other half of the things.
Yeah.
They either about 60% of the furry visual novels open with somebody waking up in bed, probably injured, and the other half are them getting ready for the morning before going to school or something.
So I've been the reason that the writing is like kind of like jumping out to me in this one and in the previous one that we read, and why I'm trying to not be super critical about it, is because in the past couple of months I've been reading a lot of scripts because I've been getting into like more writing stuff. And honestly, like 80% of scripts start this way. So it doesn't surprise me at all that visual novels have the same like thing that happens. Like it's just a common thread with storytelling.
Yeah. And it's in this case it's pretty justified because it's a story about getting Goku'd and then you come back and Goku at them. It's like I know a shonen when I see it, like I get it. But I just had to comment on it because I have been commenting on how often it happens. And I'm like, damn, we're back in bed again.
I'm calling this here is that we're going to get hero's journey, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a mentor character that comes along, helps them train up and stuff like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with hero's journey. Obviously, it's been a story we've been using since the dawn of time. But you know, it just is what it is. It's just it's just a lot of scripts. And so the thing about scripts and visual novels is I think that they're actually super similar to each other. Like
dialogue driven and all that.
Yeah, I think that the way that they're written, it is even like pretty similar.
They're even both they're two of the only forms of fiction that are written in the present tense.
Yeah, exactly. A script is always here and now. Like you can do flashbacks or whatever. You probably shouldn't, but you can. But a script always happens now. And the same thing with a visual novel. It always happens in the moment. And it's kind of a very cool thing about both the mediums is that the time is this own weird resource that factors into the way you write everything in the storytelling.
It's just a funny element where like I've written some VN scenes before and then I look at them afterwards and I'm like, oh, I wrote the whole thing in past tense like a book. Fuck, I guess I gotta rewrite. Yeah, I gotta rephrase every sentence now.
I mean, I guess you could do it, but it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb stylistically, right?
Yeah. It'll feel like you're making a statement because of how lockstep all of them are with each other about them being like being written in the present tense first person. So it'd be like, what's he doing here?
Yeah, it does end up being a very different thing. And I'm sure there are some visual novels that are written in that sort of style, but I assume they're significantly less common. But
no.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem very...
The genre is so consistently written in first person present tense that they will literally do... It's an entire like twist that happens sometimes was when it's revealed that actually someone else was narrating the whole time.
Yeah. And that's cool. That's a cool thing about the genre. I like how, you know, if you're writing a novel, you basically have infinite choices with how you do anything. And you can change it too, like all the time. Like there's no limitations at all when you're writing in that style. It's completely different to almost every other form of writing where there are at least some limitations that you always have to be mindful of. And this is one of them that I think is very cool to work within.
The door to the room I'm laid down in is forced open. Light from the hallway pours in.
I don't want to be critical of the writing too much, but God, there's so much of this weird passive tense with this one, where it's like objects are doing things to things, when it's like the protagonist is actually doing it, or the actor is actually doing it.
Actions are strangely phrased, where the hand rested itself on his arm and his eyes pulled themselves open, and it's like, no. And then strangely, not human, but anthro bodies have passive descriptions, but then environment objects have active descriptions. So the ceiling is staring at him.
It's like flipped. I know. Yeah. It's flipped.
It's messing with me a bit.
Weird. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to be critical though. So
it's also
I just want to state why it's like bothering me to get it out of the system, and then we can move on.
It comes with the genre a lot. It's also like one of the pieces of advice I always give is to always, especially for finished projects, is to go back and rewrite the entire first part of the story. Because you presumably learned and developed over the course of writing it. So when you go back to the first part, you'll be like, wait a minute, for some of that. But it's also like as somebody who's been doing a weekly Let's Try of a different furry visual novel every week, they're horribly paced introductions almost every single time. Like,
That's
just a brutally long on-ramping period, and you're like, and just you think about like thinking as a YouTuber, that's where all the audience comes in. So that's the great filter that gets rid of all the like, if they can't get through your introduction, they'll just stop and leave.
What you got to do is
hook.
You got to start as close to the end as possible. That's what Kurt Vonnegut said. It's the truest thing I can think of for starting in any work. Is like, you just want to you want to be there. And the other thing I don't really like, God, how is it actually said? In media res.
In media res.
In medias res. I really dislike that, but I also understand that it is very useful as a way to kick off the story.
Just start going.
Yeah, I think that the better thing is just to go, you know. And we'll continue this, and I'll point out probably where I think would be a good starting place. Jesus, I don't want to workshop this. Let's just read it. I'm sorry. I feel like such a dick if I'm like critiquing something while reading it like this. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Because we're also recording it too, you know. Like, I don't.
You're having the entire arc that Toaster and I have about these things, where it's like, discussing amateur writing. I have notes, but also where's the line and so on while you're having an audience and so on.
Yeah,
it's an experience.
I really, Jesus, I can't do the thing where I'm actually like digging into somebody. Like, some people can do that with their criticism and like recording it and stuff like that. And I don't know how the fuck they can do that, because I feel guilty even saying like the tiniest bit right now.
Well, in the case of something like Password, is that it had to break me over the course of dozens of hours until I finally speweth forth. But no, I think we're getting a little like off of the thing a bit, because I don't think it necessarily applies to be like, we need to start later, because I think this is inherently a narrative where you need to start when the bad guy obliterates you, so that you can then have the context for needing to get there.
Like I was saying, I think that of the style of writing where you start with somebody getting their shit kicked in and they wake up in bed or whatever, I think this is actually a pretty good execution of that. I do think that I've certainly read many things that start way worse than this, even ones that are similar to this that start way worse than this one. I will give credit. This is not a bad execution of that, you know.
The worst way to open the story would have been opening directly on him getting his shit kicked in and waking up bloody, and it shows a first-person view of his blurry POV of the guy standing over him, and then it cuts to that morning when he's getting breakfast, and we see his entire day in agonizing detail leading up to that point, to then just go back to getting his ass beat again, which is definitely a choice that I've seen stories make. And I'm like,
Well, they knew not to start the character in bed, so they didn't start with the character in bed. All right, let's go.
The door to the room I'm laid down in is forced open. Light from the hallway pours in, and I'm blinded, if only for a moment. The shadow casts into the room, but it hesitates.
Oh, for fuck's sake, get in here!
Judging from the other person's yelp and the way he stumbled into the room, someone else may have pushed him in. After
I like this friend.
Look at this little guy. This little rabbit guy. He's great.
He's got huge fucking hands.
He is having he's got that awkward part where it's the first knuckle is out.
Yeah.
So they got like long hand mode.
Yeah.
They're ready to be turning into like the when I see somebody just have one knuckle up and then the fingers bend, it reminds me of like American Werewolf in London, when it's like hands start stretching out to transform.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you mean.
After regaining his footing, he looks to the door, then to me. Before me stands a nervous-looking rabbit.
They always look nervous. That's the
That's their
default,
default
state of Rabbit.
He's dressed rather well, sort of similar to the attendant on the elevator from before, but you can tell he's important because he has a drawing. His eyes catch mine, and his demeanor loosens up. Oh, hello there, Alex. I narrow my eyes. My name is Theodore. I'm the commissioner's assistant. I still haven't fixed his name, which is probably why the wrong person's here in the fight. They're probably like, hey, what's your name? My name is Zander. Oh, he's fucked up. Still not clocking it's the wrong person.
We gotta take him to the insanity asylum.
The figure by the door scoffed. My eyes snap over to him. Bruce. Oh, it was him. He's leaning against the open door, arms crossed over his chest. I've never seen him act so mellow.
You've seen him all of like 30 seconds total.
Yeah, you have an interesting,
anyway.
You have an unusual baseline of him trying to kill you. Theodore clears his throat. Yes, the rabbit adjusts his collar slightly. You've, met Bruce? I let out a sigh. I have.
I nearly fucking killed him.
His voice cut through the tension, yet somehow only seemed to add to it. Uh-huh. I'm always dressed like this. Bruce moved from the spot.
This is my formal boxing pants. Shorts.
My black tie shorts.
I wore these to my wedding.
To myself.
And I'll wear them to your funeral.
Oh, no.
Next time you're in the ring with me.
Bruce moves from his spot on the door towards the two of us. I can see Theodore's eyes dart away, and he takes a step back from the approaching dino. Is he seriously Bruce's boss? Bruce stops in front of my bed.
You want to tell him why the fuck that happened?
The rabbit manages to keep his posture upright, but his ears fold down. He really must not want to be here. Yes, that's... He takes a shaky breath and steadies himself. You, certainly were popular. Shame your career is over. Life-threatening injury. Your fight with Bruce put our ratings through the roof.
Ow, it lasted a second.
And he put you through the floor. I blink. Thanks.
Get to the point, Ted.
Right. Theodore clears his throat. Obviously, this was, unintended. According to a quick manual review, you should have been involved in a lightweight bout tonight. It's, we can't exactly explain what happened, but for some reason, Bruce was your opponent. The rabbit readjusts his tie. Now, in terms of your, contract, typically you need to win one fight before the duties of your contract can be considered fulfilled. And I can understand why you'd like to back out. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a snag. Bruce rolls his eyes. Because of the nature of our automated matchmaking system, anyone that fights the champion is momentarily set in a special tier of their own. If they win... Oh, you're Theodore. Yeah, I'm still Theodore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If they win, they become the champion.
I just saw the word champion. I was like, Bruce must be talking.
If they lose, they return to their tier. And you don't have a tier to return to. It's a very badly programmed system. I can visibly see sweat dripping down his brow. So, you remain in this, momentary tier. It sounds like he needs to say more, but he stops. He glances at Bruce for approval? My heart feels like it's ready to drop. I don't understand.
It means you're stuck fighting me.
Bruce's voice barks out again, scaring Theodore and nearly scaring me.
And it means you're gonna keep fighting me.
What?
Until this fucking matchmaking works itself out.
Sweat trickles down the side of my head. I don't understand. Maybe I don't want to understand. What? Are matches made at random? There's a second of silence where Bruce and Theodore make a bit of eye contact. Well, not entirely. A computer sorts out matches through a deeply detailed algorithm. It's actually quite impressive when you look at it, except for how it's not working.
Computers never get anything wrong.
Bruce snorts a bit of air through his snout, as if trying to get Theodore to speak further. Can't someone just go in and make the change manually? Again, Theodore looks away before speaking. All manual changes to the matchmaking must be approved by the commissioner first. So call him down. Bruce lets out a laugh that's more of a yell. the
You'd
Howie
sooner be able to beat me than expect the commissioner to give a shit.
the Howie laugh.
That's just Goku powering up.
His eyes shift down to Theodore, whose eyes shift directly away. I can feel my body going faint, like that sick you feel deep in the pit of your stomach. The thought of going through this, the thought of going through that again. So, what are my options? The rabbit speaks up. I'm afraid that until this issue is sorted, you will need to keep fighting Bruce, or you'll void your contract. And I'm sure you're aware of the consequences. I had read the contract carefully. That required me to pay out my ass, and I can't afford that. And I'll never be able to afford that. Money was part of the reason I came down here. The heart monitor is picking up pace at this point. I haven't even noticed. Bruce and Theodore are silent for a long time.
I'm leaving.
Thanks, bud.
If you have any questions, Ted here will tell you whatever bullshit you want to hear. I like this guy.
Just out. So does he get to have a shoulder again first? The dinosaur
weirdly enough, the contract says no.
Just wheeling him out tomorrow. The dinosaur spits the last few words, then turns on his toes and stomps out the door. Theodore just sort of stands there, quiet. He seems less nervous now. He still won't make eye contact with me. Is there, anything else I can answer for you? I don't know what to say, what to ask. I'm struggling to process what I'm hearing. Theodore notices my silence and steps away from the bed. I'll, give you some time, Alex. I don't bother correcting him. If you need to speak to me, please reach out to any of our helpful staff here. I feel like if this is all contract-based and it's a glitch, I feel like the solution would lie in the fact that they still don't have his name correct in the system, so it's technically not him anyway. That seems like the out.
Oh, now you're thinking like a lawyer.
I just feel it. I mean, it's a contract. They don't. If they have the wrong person in the system, then they just made up a fake person. Rest well. And with that, Theodore trails out of the room, and I am alone. Again. Some time, he says. They say time heals all wounds. And that time is money. But that money is the root of all evil.
Oh, and then wounds equals time? Wounds equals money. I get it now. It's probably a transitive property.
God damn it. You think it'd be able to make any of this any easier, but it's been a few days and I still haven't done much. Almost like I was near fatally injured. The quality of the medical staff here is definitely is as advertised, Everyone is so receptive to my needs, though I really try not to ask for all that much. The last few days kind of went by without much going on, except from whatever the nurses are putting into my body. They explained it as a medical steroid type thing. I probably should have paid more attention. He's just like me. Whatever it is, I'm not allowed to leave my bed outside the bathroom breaks. Any amount of serious movement could extend the healing process, they said. They did also say that it's extra restricted for newbies, though. Bodies react differently to new medicines, especially for stuff as strong as this. They need to keep me monitored just to make sure nothing goes wrong in the system, apparently. With the sensu bean.
Yeah, the system that famously doesn't have any issues with it. We've never seen any bugs in this system or any of the others that they maintain.
Kind of sucks that I can't even go for a walk. My legs have been aching for a while. My ears flicker over to the door, catching some footsteps that seem to be getting closer. They were proven right with the door swinging open, and a man that I assume is my doctor waltzing in with a clipboard. Spinning.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Good morning, Alex.
I'm your Saturday morning doctor. Zander.
My name is Dr. Drayden. I'm the athletic physician that's been working with your case. How are we feeling today?
A sigh slips from my mouth, but I catch myself
you
when his
sighed.
head...
That's the way you fucking read this. Anyway.
We've been playing Password, and in that one, it's literally every single time described as he sighed out. Over and over again.
Oh.
Exact same way. So often that we did COD did a Control F of this entire Rempe script, and found like 300 iterations or something like that. We were like, oh, Jesus. A sigh slips from my mouth, but I catch myself when his head turns to my face. I'm good. I sort of shake my head, not really pleased with my first interaction with the guy. He doesn't seem to notice.
Gotcha. Well, Alex, we've got your test results back. Good news and bad news.
My eyebrows twitch. What's the bad news? He pauses, his face contorted in a frustrated way, like I'd said something he didn't want to hear.
Well, the good news is that you're good to go. Everything came back negative, and your shoulder should be good as new. That's funny. Good job with that one.
Just ignoring the order of that you asked for. It's like,
That's pretty good.
It's like, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't offer our audience participation. Thanks for your input. Your feedback will be disregarded. The cat flashes a smile that warms my chest. I let out a breath that I must have been holding for a while. That's relieving to know. Any bad news? Your next match is in 6 hours. The papers he had lifted off the clipboard, the big red dog. I'm upset by how much we're saying the same sentence today.
It's fine.
It's fucked up.
It just means our periods are in sync or whatever.
We've known each other for 11 years.
Only that long?
And it's only just now come to this. Only now making you play the gay furry visual novels.
It was bound to happen.
The papers that he had lifted off the clipboard had been flipped back down, and he flashed a wink at me.
The bad news is that you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of me. You know, given your situation.
You just look down and your leg's missing. He lets out a small laugh, and my heart sinks right back. While I had spent the last few days keeping myself distracted with some television, I'm not particularly keen on thinking about the repercussions of my current predicament. No, concussions. Still getting the word wrong, everybody. You can tell I'm not exactly excited about that prospect either, and his laugh peters out.
Well, I mean, at least. I hope you don't. Ted filled me in on the situation. Sounds like you're, Not really going through it.
Leg
You're
check.
fucked, man.
They're there. He's got shaped pants. He's got skinny jeans. Or like slacks. He's got fitted slacks. They are ironically not
feel good.
His slacks are not slack. You could put it that way, yeah. His smile stayed for a second or so before he snapped down to his clipboard.
But, yes, so, vitals.
I assume they're good, because he's been here for days.
Well,
be a bit of a late report if anything's wrong with his vitals after the fight at this point.
You just, oh, the EKG hasn't been on this whole time. Let's give this old girl a quick tap. All right. Blood tests all came back negative.
You don't seem to have any.
You have negative blood. Oh no. Mild concussion. X-rays are looking fine.
Yeah, I don't expect he would have picked up anything in the fight. For his blood test.
We punched you into having sickle cell anemia.
We forgot to give you a physical before letting you into the into the league. Common mistake. Whoops.
You'll need a bit of physical therapy to get your rotator and tendon back up to speed, but otherwise, we're able to discharge you right away.
Just imagine it just getting worse and worse. They're just like literally just wheeling him directly back into the ring.
Oh, it's like,
it's an anti-training art. He literally
Bruce
never
just like gives him a pity win just to get rid of him. He's just bored of fighting him.
I'm just like, if he's getting totaled this hard, how is he gonna have time to train ever? He's so fucked. Don't shoulders take a couple weeks to get fixed?
Usually, yes. I think you've had this happen before?
I frown. Dislocated, yeah. Under different circumstances, though. Drayden waves his hands non-committally.
Of course. So you probably know how it goes. Usually there's no serious exercise allowed, no major lifting, none of that. Usually, however, in your fucked circumstances... However, the steroids we pumped into your system are special. They enhance your body's natural regenerative abilities, for lack of better... That's what steroids do! That's not special. That's just steroids. Anyway.
We gave you Wolverine blood.
Which came back negative. Obviously, it's not going to enhance your ability in fights or... What kind of shitty steroid? All right. Obviously, it's not going to enhance your ability in fights or anything, and it won't help you recover from wounds during a fight.
Okay. I wasn't expecting it to actually be healing factor. Like, I'm just gonna just like snap it back in place and then just get back up. Just start coming after Bruce like the T-3000.
Gets our fighters up and running much faster than they would naturally, so everyone's grateful for that, I'd say.
The smile on his face made him look almost proud of the process. Can't exactly say I blame him. And the tests?
And just some simple blood work, really. Make sure your liver is handling the medication properly. And, you know, cancer, things like that.
What was that middle word? My heart
Blood?
jumps at that
Liver?
word, so I sit up. Cancer?
Who said cancer?
Again, though, he
Crazy.
shakes his head casually, like he's trying to shoo me away.
There hasn't been a case yet, so I wouldn't exactly be worried about it.
Why'd you bring it up? It's really weird. Why would you do that? Why you just randomly bring up cancer in random conversations like me bombing Bird with how old he is now? Evil doctor.
Yeah. That's cool. Still, if your body decides to push it too hard, blood work would catch it right off the bat, so we can nip it in the bud before it becomes an issue.
Nip it in the bud. Nip it in the polyp. I can't help but worry that my contract would get voided if they couldn't use the medication anymore, but Drayden doesn't seem to be fretting over it. The feline pulls a chair away from the wall and drops onto it, crossing his legs and resting his clipboard on them. Is he suggesting that he thinks that the medication would cause cancer?
Yes.
In 2 days?
It's really fucked up steroids that don't enhance your performance somehow.
I'm just saying, like, if they could affect it that fast, then that should be on the table. It's terrifying.
Said you up with some physical therapy with yours truly here in today, but I think it's best for you to get out of this room. Get some fresh air. Well, I mean, so to speak. You've been here, what, 4 days? And the only people you've met were Bruce and Ted? I feel like you'd be more deserving of a proper welcome, all things considered.
We'll just accept the idea that he arrived and fought within like 5 minutes without like any kind of intake or a place that he's going to be staying if this is where he lives now, or even meeting like any kind of staff or anything. I think that's how that kind of mistake happens, actually. I feel like this is a noticeable like problem with this process. I nod, still a bit nervous about what that would entail. Would the others here resent me? Would they hate me? Applaud me? I haven't exactly had a chance to get a read on anyone else. Yeah, because you've never seen them.
Yeah. Now, Alex, before I let you go...
His pen clicks. He looks up to me.
You have any questions for me?
His eyes meet with mine. Silence lingers between us for a moment. Do I have any questions? Yes. For him? Not really. Not anything that he can answer, or anything that he can help with.
Come on, Alex. There's gotta be something I can answer. If not me, what about Mr. Sock Puppet? Alex, you can say whatever you want to me. I'm your friend.
Oh no.
I'm a licensed therapist too, so you can talk with me about anything.
Here's a good question for you to ask, Alex. Who's Alex? That's a good start. My brow furrows. I thought you were an athletic physician. Why? Thanks! Glad you noticed. Again, Drayden waves his hand.
I wear many hats, Alex. That's probably why they hired me.
Ironically, none of my jobs involve hats.
But I like to think it's because of my winning personality.
He gives off that proud smile again. I can't help but breathe breathe out a chuckle. I discovered that if I slightly bump the left trigger, it goes backwards.
Oh.
Questions, though. I honestly can't think of anything relevant. I know my situation. I know how the medicine works. I feel like I've gotten a handle on this guy's personality. For the most part, at least.
Yeah, I think you got it, man. No more questions needed than that. Well, if you've got no questions and you're feeling all right, then we can go ahead and get you on your feet.
I guess he took my unintended silence as an answer. Am I feeling all right? I guess I'm pretty anxious to meet everyone else, to continue my training. Maybe I just need to psych myself up again, like I did on the elevator before. My stomach turns, though I'm not sure whether it's from thinking about the fight or from the sight of the needle coming out of my skin. Ugh. Drayden assists me up out of the bed. My first steps are a bit shaky, all things considered. I've hardly walked in 4 days, so I feel kind of like a fawn for a bit. The sling underneath my arm gets undone and pulled back around my neck. I rotate my shoulder a bit, stretching it out from side to side. It's definitely still sore. Still, it's nice to have my arm back. someone gets out after getting their wisdom teeth pulled, and their first reflex is to like all drugged up like walk up to a mirror and just stretch out their mouth to look at. You're like, ah. That's the first thing my brother did after being told not to, and it's like no.
That felt great.
Stop that exact thing. You won't believe this, but he had to deal with dry sockets, and I didn't. Still, it's nice to have my arm back.
Can you stick out both your arms for me? Slowly.
I oblige, and Dredden slipped my gown off of me, balling it up and tossing it into a hamper across the room. After a quiet cheer and a fist pump from making the shot from such a distance, he turns to my bare body.
There's a spare change of clothes in the washroom for you. I'll give you a call when I've got your physical therapy appointment all set up.
Just strip somebody?
Yeah,
no,
that's
no
super
clothes.
weird.
Yoink!
What else?
He snaps his fingers a few times with one hand, holding the bridge of his nose in another.
Oh, right. Rooming situation. Head to the cafeteria. There's a guy there. Red. Little hyena guy. Real sweet guy. He should be looking for you.
Which is weird, because he should know you're in the hospital. He's not very smart.
He's been following your every move.
Ineffectively. He's been walking in circles in the cafeteria for 4 days, like an NPC's scripting broke because you're once again still in the hospital. Maybe he's part of that AI that thinks you're Alex. I nod and slip into the washroom to the side. Sure enough, under those fluorescent lights was a set of clothes, a familiar tank top and pair of baggy pants. What if half these characters just are AI? It's like he's just like in this like Kafka-esque nightmare of getting his shoulder dislocated and recovering over and over again.
Basically, literally the plot of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. He's just being internally tortured by an AI to get his ass kicked by Bruce.
Kind of.
Yeah.
That story's a bit more upsetting.
Well,
actual nightmare. If people haven't experienced that story, by the way, if it's still on YouTube, Harlan Ellison narrated it himself, and he is a very impassioned narrator of his own book. So it's one of the better audiobooks I've ever heard because of that. He gets really into it. We actually tried to do I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream as a Halloween game together like 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say. Actually,
it was much longer than that.
I think it was 6 years ago. I think it was all the way back when I lived in a different place. Could not get it to either run or record. I forget which one, but it was like, geez, it was fighting. I could not get it to work. It was so frustrating.
It was a weird combination of like, you could either record it, you could stream it on Discord, and even if you did stream it on Discord,
that's what
the audio never came through.
That's what the roadblock was, is I was like, oh, right, this game's too old to be compatible with being able to easily stream it to Discord so that someone can remotely hang out and do it with me. Right.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, I probably could solo it fine, but it seemed like it was going to be a cool thing. Oh well.
It was a good idea.
And then I forgot to play it myself for like 6 years. The end.
Yay.
I nod and slip into the washroom to the side. Sure enough, under those fluorescent lights was a set of clothes. I already read that. Putting on these clothes feels nice. Feels familiar. It's been so long since I was able to just be properly alone. No one watching me, no cameras, no fights. The clothes press against my fur like a long, loose hug, welcoming me home. The most hugging of all shirts, a tank top. I know I can't stay in this bathroom for too long, but I almost consider it. Dredden would have some questions, though. I want to soak in this feeling for as long as I can. He's like whatever the opposite of touch-starved is. Forget-starved. Abandon-starved. Leave me the fuck alone. After a bit, I slide back out. Dredden's still there, tapping away on his phone. His ears twitch when I move, and his head soon follows.
All good in there? Wouldn't want to walk in on you while you're naked.
After you were naked. Doctor jokes. My mouth curls up into an awkward smile. I'm still not sure how to answer that. Yeah. Thank you. His smile remains, but he waves me off.
No thanks needed. Just doing my job. Good luck out there. Oh, and hey, if you need to talk, my office is right next door.
I would be shitting myself right now trying to correct my name in the system and also, like, in the process of that, my blood type. Before whatever mistake happened here just goes real bad. Because that's a problem. We exchanged another set of awkward thank yous before I leave, following instructions from a nurse to get to the cafeteria. Getting out of the medbay wing takes a bit of concentration. There are a lot of rooms with various states of occupancy, but there seem to be good spirits all around as I hear them. As I hear the rooms? I think grammatically you're hearing the rooms. People talking, laughing, joking with each other. I can feel the tightness in my chest loosen ever so slightly. I passed by a few more closed doors before leaving the medbay wing entirely. The white and red accented floor tiles swapped to light cream as I moved to the rest of the main floor. The halls of the facility are surprisingly clean. Not like I pictured them as dirty around down or anything, but they seemed almost sterile. Like a hospital. Quiet, too. Even the medbay had a number of people strolling around on their ways to and from offices, rooms and offices. These halls are basically empty, though. I only see one raccoon person stroll by, and he has his earbuds in. Duffel bag under his arm, too. Probably on his way back from the gym. He looks pissed. There's a bandage rolled around his bicep and what looks like a bit of crusted blood perched under his snout. Don't worry, buddy. It was probably just an off day. I mean, he's having a good day. He's walking out of his fight. I can only imagine how brutal the coaches can be down here. I've heard a bit about them, but nothing about anyone in particular. The guy in the hall flicks his eyes to catch mine. His glare nearly cuts me in half. My eyes dart away. I really gotta work on this staring at people thing before it gets me in trouble. He continues past me down the hallway. I'm sure I'll see him again. Hopefully on more friendly terms. It's a big facility, so... but there's only so many of us down here. At least, I think it's a big facility. I haven't exactly had the time to explore. Now could be a good time, though. And it probably won't do me any harm if it's on the way to the cafeteria, right? I do have two notes right now.
Yeah.
One, you said that it was a cream-colored carpet. So my first thought was that that's not the right color carpet, so maybe pick a different background. But then I realized that he's walking on a sky bridge in an above ground building. Like, those are windows to the outside world, and I'm like, you're currently describing how underground we are. I'm like, maybe...
You can have a sky bridge underground.
Yeah.
It's just a weird sci-fi facility.
I can see the sun reflecting off of the windows on either side, and so
it's like Men in Black sun.
It's a Men in Black facility. It was just maybe pick a different screen. As I was leaving the med bay, I had passed a number of office rooms. I assumed they were general administrative stuff, not really anything juicy there. The raccoon fellow from earlier moved out of one of these next rooms coming up. Upon closer inspection, the walls of this section of the hall are actually giant windows. I decided to look into one. There's two guys practicing submission wrestling with a third guy leaning up against a wall. He looks exhausted. Our eyes meet for a second. He looks to his friends, mutters something. The other two laugh for a second. He looks back at me and smiles, nodding his head as if to greet me. For some reason, I feel like I should have looked away. I think I feel like I was intruding. I watch people wrestle all the time. This is nothing new for me. At least at my old gym, with my old teammates. I smile and nod at him before walking forward again. I think I see the man mouth something, pointing at me from the corner of my eye. I definitely should have kept walking sooner. I don't know anyone here yet. It feels rude to engage with some of these folks without at least introducing myself. Though that may not have been the reason he was pointing. I still don't know how big of a name I made for myself down here. Did they get to watch the fights? Did everyone see what happened with Bruce? It's not like people would make fun of me for something like that. Probably. And it's not like I'd really care if they did. It's just more annoying than anything else. I'd just rather go in with as little of a reputation as possible. I passed by a couple dozen more mat rooms on the way through the hall. Roughly half of them seemed to have a similar layout to the first one, just a large solid mat stretching across the floor. Granted, though, the rest of these are empty. The other half of the rooms had a number of smaller mats, with one or two large species off to the side, marked with a large circle on the ground. Heavy bags lined the back walls of these ones, clearly made for striking practice. I feel like I'm going to be spending a lot of time in these rooms. Not like I'll have much of a choice, at least. That first long stretch of the hallway seemed to take... that first long stretch of the hallway seemed to take up one half of the main floor, with a small segment on either side of the hall sectioned off for a pair of staircases halfway through. I'll probably figure out where these go eventually. Right now, I need to get to the cafeteria, even though I'm really not that hungry. Hospital food was pretty damn good. But I can't exactly get to my room without knowing where it is. I mean, I could, but there's probably a key or password or something, and I need to find Red to get that information. I could brute force it, but that would take more time, patience, or ramming strength than I'm willing to spend right now. Luckily, the cafeteria seems to be right here, judging from the amount of sound coming from it. I heard it from a few doors down, but I guess I must have been too lost in thought. I turn the corner and enter the door into the noise. Look at these color-coded chairs. All in rows.
That's nice.
Got the red row, the green row, the yellow row, and then it repeats. Oh, there's a white row too.
Looks like a observation duty room.
It's kind of wild. It weirdly takes me back to like watching the show Maniac, which has like a very strange retro vibe to it.
It's very liminal space, yeah.
There's like a particular reoccurring vibe in different things of like the underground facility that has oddly kind of like retro vibes to it, and like a very colorful appearance and some, I guess kind of like the Loki show too. By the Loki show, I mean the part of the Loki show that I saw in the movie Deadpool, because I haven't seen Loki. The open doorway leads into a massive chamber, with tables and seats scattered all over. These seats, of course, are filled with men of various shapes, sizes, and species. The vibe seems similar to what I heard back at the med bay, just much louder. People chatting, laughing, scarfing down food. I hope you can't hear that part. If TV and movies were any indication, this is probably what college cafeterias would have been like. Back when we had those. Before the war. It's pretty fucking loud. I'm not sure if I can get used to this, though I suppose I'll have to. I start walking through the aisles of tables. Along the back walls are a number of different food stations. Looks like they... Whoops! It's first husband alert! Giant striped hyena. A different hyena, I think, than the one we're actually looking for? Unless his name's Red.
Yeah, because he's not red.
I think he was... Yeah, I think the other guy was described differently.
I would assume that he's red.
Yeah. Tricked you, he's monochrome. Tricked you. What does this giant man sound like? That isn't your other giant man voice.
Oh, is this me? I thought... yeah, I can do this one, sure. He's got a mustache, so he's giving me French fry vibes as a result.
Why did I immediately know you were gonna say that?
Oh shit! My bad, little dude. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know accents, and every time I try, I realize very quickly how actually unbearably cringe it is for me to try. Oh shit! My bad, little dude.
This rather large wolf, that's a wolf, had swung his arm out, gesticulating wildly in the story he'd been engrossed in. I hadn't noticed until his hand slapped into my right shoulder.
I totally didn't see you there. Are you good?
It's a striped wolf. It stung a little bit, but nothing serious. I'm fine, thanks. His friends let out a quiet laugh.
Dude, you gotta watch yourself. You could have broken his arm.
They all laughed at that, a little louder this time. Because making fun of his injuries, it turns out they would make fun of him for that. They suck. I can't believe that when this child fought the sumo wrestler, he lost. I can't be bothered to deal with this. Whatever they're joking at, whether they're joking at my expense or not, I'm not here to talk with them.
They obviously are.
Yeah, they
I
very
got
much
terrible
are.
news for you.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're holding on optimistically, but everyone's making fun of you. I turn around and to walk away.
You look a little lost, little guy. Need any help?
God damn it. Oh, let's pick a
Both of these are the same thing.
Walking away is not responding. Declining is responding.
Okay.
Let's make a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
I could just walk away without answering, but that probably would just cause more problems. I know how these guys are. No, I'm good. Thanks. Before they can say anything else, I walk off, heading deeper into the cafeteria hall. I don't hear anything from them, so I'm assuming they got the message. Little guy. Ugh. He sounded so condescending. I know I'm small. I don't need someone pointing it out. It's so loud in here. I need to find Red so I can get out of here. This noise is driving me crazy. Drayden said he was a hyena, dude. He's probably the small one on the other end of the cafeteria, waving at me. Wait, I mean, okay. Why did we cut to a different room? I'm confused. It's also a cafeteria, but it can't be the same one. Weird, huh?
That's weird.
I wade through the aisles and pass by the folks walking around with their trays before finally making it to Red.
Yo!
Oh my god, he's tiny! Look at this tiny.
I love him.
Look at this tiny hyena, man.
No, he's great.
He's 50% hidden behind the text. The hyena is seated on the edge of the table, separated from some other men by a few seats. Red waves a short salute. His tail flicks to either side underneath him. I wave back. How do you see that? Hey, it's Red, right? I extend my paw, and he claps his own into it. Zander, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too, man. Still question marks. Yeah, technically it's Redline, but Red is fine too.
That's weird. Just because I told you about the movie Redline last session. So I was like, huh?
You call me Redline because I'm going to fix all your bullshit mistakes.
I retract my paw after a nice proper shake. It keeps looking up at me, and his tail is still wagging.
They call me Redline because I studied three-point perspective and you didn't. So I'm going to just show that off.
There's always that awkward
little bit of an artist joke there.
Uh-huh. I already did one, but it's fine. You can also do one.
Yeah.
You're allowed to.
Thank you.
To just take it.
It's called yes-anding.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's already that awkward. There's always that awkward lull after meeting someone when neither of you really have an agenda to attend to. You have an agenda to attend to. Where the fuck's my room? When circumstances just sort of force you two to interact, but you really don't know what to say or how to proceed. Guess I've fallen into that again. He's still looking at me. Yeah, that's normal.
Come on,
That is how
man.
conversations work.
Take a seat. I want to hear all about it.
I hesitate for a second before dropping down to access the table from... to access the table. Whoops. Dropping down across the table from him.
Yeah, man, the fight.
He's getting pretty excited at this point. It's... I over the men sitting a few seats down. They don't seem to notice or care, so I turn back to Red. I mean, you saw what happened, right?
For sure. I mean, I think we all did. People don't really like to miss Bruce's fights.
Redline takes another bite out of his sandwich, folding the unfinished half in his hand as he talks.
People say he gets angry when people don't show up to watch, so I guess everyone just sort of comes out to see what's up.
He swallows.
But Christ, dude, we lost our fucking minds when they showed you, dude.
We were expecting a bloodbath, man. I think people were putting money on whether you'd even survive. I narrow my eyes. Sorry to disappoint. The hyena lets out a sharp, one-beat laugh.
Hey,
Don't sulk on me.
I made a cool $50 off of you pulling through.
He laughs again, a little quieter this time. I can feel myself glaring at him. Well then, I'm glad I pulled through for your sake.
Appreciate it, dude. Maybe if it happens again, I'll buy you something nice after you can walk again.
He laughs at his own joke. I think he's picking up the hint that I don't think it's as funny as he thinks, and his ears flicker slightly. Out of existence.
What's the matter? If you're upset about losing, don't be, dude. Dude's like really big, dude.
Redline shoves. Uh-huh. Almost like this was like an illegal fight that I'm now going to repeat forever until I die. Redline shoves a couple of fries into his maw.
Besides, you won't have another fight like that again, right? So like, your odds are probably like really in your favor or something. Probably. I mean, I'm not a math magician.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
He's an idiot. He's perfect. I can't help but frown. I think you mean mathematician? Redline thinks for a moment and shakes his head.
No, that doesn't sound right. I think you took too many hits to the head, dude.
He winks. I can't get a read on this guy. No, he's very easy to read. He's
Yeah, he's
dumb.
a dumbass.
But I can't help but feel a smile creep up at the corner of my mouth. You know I didn't take any. You saw the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He swallows the mouthful of salad he had.
That's true. Maybe the medicine is making you loopy then.
I shrug. That's probably what it is, yeah. I hope... Wait, what did he say? It says you took too many blows to the head. You know I didn't take any. He headbutt you. That's how he knocked you out, and you got a concussion.
That technically happened after the fight because he was dead.
He explicitly got a concussion from a head hit. That line doesn't make any sense. Whoops. I hope you keep good on your promises, though. I've got another fight lined up with him. Redline coughs, gagging awkwardly on his salad. He takes a swig of water, swallows, and inhales.
What? I'm floating now. That's right, the stripes go all the way down.
Redline nearly stands over the table now, glaring down at me while I fold my hand over the side of my temple. I can tell the men down the table are looking at Redline as he yells.
You have another? Are you insane?
Please be quiet.
Why?
Why? Why would I be quiet? Am I speaking too loud? I stare daggers into him as he continues to yell. Because people are starting to stare.
No, I mean...
Oh no, he got little sad dimples in his eyes, also known as
Oh.
The glares, I mean, not dimples. Eye dimples. That's
Eye
what
dimples.
I think I meant to say dipples. Or stipples. I don't know.
I don't think you want stipples in your eye either.
No, well, they're dots. I'm like drawing. It's fine.
Oh, I see what you mean.
He's got dapples.
Ah, yes, like the color of a horse.
He pauses, looking around to the number of people that had turned to our direction. He sits down, leaning in close.
I mean, why another fight?
I huff out a quiet sigh, my fingers rubbing up against the bridge of my nose. I let a beat pass, just long enough that I feel like they've stopped staring. Contract details. I'd rather think about it when there are less people around.
Oh, okay.
Redline goes back to his food, scooping up his little cardboard cup of fries and fishing around inside. He plucks a few fries out and sticks them in a maw. Every time he's described as eating, there's a different food item to the point where it's starting to feel like a gag against me specifically. Like, next he's gonna have a pie. Like, it's just gonna be like, here's some... I don't know where sandwich went. It's gone. He turns the cup to face me.
You hungry?
The few remaining fries rattle around in the cup. They look pretty soggy, except for the one that's burnt to a crisp. I stare at them for a few seconds before drawing my vision back up to red. No, I'm alright. I can feel an awkward pause coming up, so I add a bit more. I ate pretty well in the med bay, actually. Something no one has ever said.
Oh yeah? I've never been in long enough to need to eat there.
Humble brag. He picks at a fry or two for a few seconds before his eyes shift to either side.
I mean, I wasn't, it's perfectly normal for you to get your arm ripped off. This is fine. It's not less of a man or anything. It's fine. That sounded like I was bragging or something. Sorry. What I meant was,
our eyes met for only a moment before he has turned away again. He set his now empty cup back onto his tray and swallowed the remainder of the food in his maw.
So, did you at least get all healed up? I mean, you're here now, obviously, but like, was the medicine good? Grape flavored? You feel alright?
Eh.
My right shoulder is still a little sore. I roll the joints and try not to make a face. For the most part, yeah. I've got some physical therapy tomorrow for this piece of work. But all in all, it could have been worse. The doctor was pretty nice too, and famously, physical therapy is short.
Mm-hmm.
Just one and done. Just pop it back into place. Oh, there it is.
Who'd you get?
Drayden, I think his name was. His ears perk up.
Oh, I know him. We haven't talked though. Is he as scary as his name sounds?
What?
From the Drayden files.
No, he was actually really nice, like a weird dad or pediatrician. I guess. Just talk to the next pediatrician you meet. You're like a weird dad. That man
Brady comes by with a tray full of food. He's like about to sit down with you, and he hears you say that, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah,
don't mind me."
Oh, or oh, which vibe of dad?
Which vibe of weird?
Ambiguous word in this game. That managed to get a laugh out of the hyena, a famously hard thing to do.
You do look pretty young, though. I guess most of us lightweights do, right? We're the twinks of the MMA.
Yep.
I nod my head, looking around the cafeteria. I guess I can see that, yeah. It's deeply fucked that this is who you were basically supposed to be fighting. So what's the deal with the food here? Do I just... Redland was already standing by the time I started my second question.
Oh, dude, it totally looks confusing. I know. It's actually really cool. Follow me. So listen, seriously, it seems dumb, but it's cool.
That's
He's
kind
already
of this
started
guy's whole vibe.
Yeah, no, I love him. He's great. Also, I would love for him to fight me instead of the giant bulldozer man that snaps your arm off before the fight starts. Which he seemingly knew he was doing, which is worse. He's already started walking away. He'd probably start talking even if I wasn't right behind him. I wonder if he will... No, that's mean. I get up and follow Redline. I like the idea of just letting him leave and just not following him. You will, in fact, not find out where your room is that way, sir.
So, as part of your contract or whatever, you get access to most of the calf whenever you want. Most of it. If you pick the wrong part, you're kicked out of your contract.
The calf. It's a bad
Calf.
It's a bad abbreviation because there's too many things in this room that could be the calf.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the calf they had to pull out of him when they had him in a hospital bed for 4 days. He doesn't even look back to check if I'm following before he starts talking. Damn, I could have gotten away with it.
You in the mood for anything specific?
I almost said the hospital food had done me good, but watching those fries rattle around awakened something in me. Why? A second ago you had no urge to eat. That latent hunger never really seems to go away. It grows. It desires. I wouldn't mind a smoothie or something. At that, the hyena turned on his heel, pointing to one section along the wall of the cafeteria. The calf.
Smoothie station, onward!
Oop. He's already walking.
Nobody else calls it the calf but him.
He's trying to make it catch on. It won't.
Yeah.
No one listens to him. No one sits with him, apparently. He's already walking. I follow alongside him. He moves pretty fast, but it's not hard to keep up with him.
So, at the start of regular meal hours, you probably want to wait in line for stuff, but you're in luck. Lunch started a while ago, so you'll probably be fine.
Regular meal hours?
Yep. I think it's something like 5 to 9 a.m. for breakfast, well, pre-workout, and then 11 to 3 for lunch, I think. 5 to 9 for dinner? You'll get used to the times, and then forget them, apparently. They're pretty flexible since people are always coming and going in and out of the gym.
He scratches his ear.
Menus are pretty big. Sometimes they do special meals, too. Turkey and stuff in the fall, ham in the winter, you know, seasonal stuff. The seasonal pig.
That's the part of the menu that's seasonal, is the protein. Redline stops on a dime, and I catch myself from bumping into someone walking in front of us. It seems we're here. The smoothie station he had mentioned earlier seems to be more of a traditional coffee shop looking place. See, that's the problem with abbreviating the calf. There's coffee right here. A nice wooden finish surrounds this section of the cafeteria, and it actually has a door that leads out into the hallway. Seems like I can access this place when the rest of the cafeteria is closed. Kind of a weird departure from the rest of the cafeteria, and it's rather masculine looking clientele, but I'm not about to complain. Only the twinks use the cafe. The fuck? What are you talking about?
Sorry, the calf.
The calf. That's why it's abbreviated. Redline nudges me from my left, wrapping an arm around me. I tense up when he presses his arm into my shoulder from the other side.
See, check the menu, dude. They have everything that you'd find in a cafe, specifically. Smoothies, coffee, protein shakes, energy drinks, you name it.
Damn, that is everything.
Yeah. It really is an impressive menu. I take a moment to scan over the options while Redline rambles about some of his favorites. A good 30 seconds pass by before someone taps on my shoulder.
Are you gonna order?
The voice is back. My head cranes around to see a number of men behind me. Seems I've started a line. Shit. I stumble forward to the polite otter barista who's probably been standing there uncomfortably the whole time. Sorry, can I get mango banana smoothie? Mango banana. She confirms and writes down something onto a cup while the other baristas get to work. I step back out of the way while the rest of the customers get in line. I can't help but feel embarrassed for making people wait. I don't know anyone else here, and I've already managed to piss off a bunch of strangers. Wow, he is just like me. Just panicking over having waited in line slightly too long. I swear to God, the guy behind me was growling. You alright? The voice makes me nearly jump, which happens a lot too. Yes, yeah, no, I think I held up the line there. A paw claps my right shoulder. Ow. Redline seems to enjoy getting real close. Aw, I wouldn't sweat it. You're new here. And everyone saw you die on camera. I feel like that's less
awesome.
I feel like it's less of an excuse than you think it is. And besides, it's not like anyone's in any rush. It's lunchtime, dude. Get your smoothie and relax. As if on cue, another barista calls my name, holding up a small cup filled with a light orange concoction. I ease my way to where they stand and snatch it up, giving a hasty thanks. Back to the shitty part of the cafeteria. Redline and I make our way back towards the table. He's been chatting idly since I got my smoothie. He talks pretty loud and fast, but I suppose it's better than him being drowned out by the noise of the cafeteria. God, the smoothie really hits the spot. Seeing those fries had me thinking about salty food for a few minutes. I guess this was enough to get me thirsty for something fruity. That's...
Okay.
Huh. He's not like me for real. I cannot relate to whatever that thought process was. Looking at those fries made me think about salty food, causing a real urge for fruity drinks. The sweetness of the banana was overpowered only by the flavor of the fresh mango. Nice and cool and creamy, too. Why didn't I think to ask for this in the med bay? I guess I didn't know that they served this stuff. I usually just went with whatever Drayden recommended. He kept telling me. I thought he met Drayden on the last day.
I think he met him on the last day.
Yeah, I could check. I could check back later, but I'm like, I thought the language implied that that he was a new character to him and not somebody that'd been meeting in for the last few days. He kept telling me to try the salmon, and I had to keep telling him I'm a vegetarian. You think my doctor would remember that much at least? He doesn't know your name. You're gonna die here. You're so fucked. It's actually scary.
And so, he had my tray, right? And I had to butt in and say that it was mine, not his. And then he's like, he took off running? I'm so cool and tough, and everyone's afraid of me in my stories, so...
Right, I probably should have been listening.
I guess he was embarrassed or something, but the worst part is, while he was running away, I yelled, sorry, out at him.
Redline hacked out a laugh that's halfway between nervous and embarrassed.
That's a great sentence. I can hear that.
Yeah. You apologize to the guy? To the guy stealing my food. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. His paws pressed into his temple, muffling an exasperated groan. Good save, Alex. You listened just in time to catch on to the part where you could react like you heard the whole story. Good save. I mean, hey, if the food was good enough, then...
Oh, dude, it was fucking amazing. Like, so good that I gotta pace myself with it. Luckily, they only have it on the menu, like, once a month.
He's dead.
Hooray!
Oh no! Oh, what did it even say?
Bruce stands over his body.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Otherwise, I'd be rolling myself out the.
it all happened so fast. I'm looking at Redline as he talks, and I bump into someone maybe, hard enough to accidentally crush my smoothie cup. It's probably Bruce.
Yeah.
The lid pops off, spilling that mango banana mixture onto the shirt of the brick wall of a man I bumped into. He shoves me back faster than I can process as I scramble to stay on my feet. I slip in the bit of smoothie that dropped on the floor. Oh my god, dude. This elaborate Final Destination
literal clown energy.
Yeah, he's getting like a Final Destination level like slip wound to fuck up his rotator cuff so he doesn't have to do the next fight.
Yeah. Whoa!
My backside crashes to the floor with Redline trying and failing to keep me held upright by my right arm. Ouch. Fuck. After shaking myself out of my stupor, I look up to see my aggressors. 4 men stand in front of us, one of them with a wet orange stain on his shirt. And next to him,
Ew.
the one in the middle, well, it's the
That was the
smoothie.
mango banana. That's right.
Bum, bum, bum. Next episode,
Wow.
he dies. The end. See you next time.
See you.